Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today it's another creepy video because I felt like filming this one. I thought it'd be interesting. So yeah, I wanted to talk about my hallucinations. I sound crazy. I'm not, I promise. They're just hallucination. They're just hallucinations I get when I'm waking up from sleep. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this before, but it does happen and it happens to me. I do not want to ramble too much in this video, but I have my notes because the two types of hallucinations have kind of complicated names and I just needed to write them down, you know. Also, before I start this video, I wanted to say that I'm in a small YouTuber group on Instagram and they're all really helpful and they're all lovely people. So I thought it'd be a good idea to give shout outs each video, like just 5 shout outs. I'll link their channels down below, so make sure, my mouth just doesn't want to work today. Make sure to check them out. I'm sure they'd appreciate the support. And also, where am I? Back in my flat. You obviously already knew that because it's a completely different background, but here I am, I'm back, I'm happy and I'm ready to film loads of videos here. I'm excited. I have nothing else to say, so let's just get into the video. So I'm going to attempt to say these 2 names. I'm sorry if I say them wrong, but I'm gonna try. So there's 2 types of hallucinations that people can get. The first one is hypnagogic hallucinations, which is wakefulness to sleep. So you hallucinate whilst you're falling asleep, which isn't the one I get. The one I get is hypnopompic. I'm going to put these on the screen anyway, so you'll know what I'm talking about. So the one I get is hypnopompic, which is when I'm waking up. You're having a nice peaceful sleep and then you wake up and see a demon in your room and then you can't go back to sleep. So yeah, the one I get is hypnopompic and it's not fun. Basically, these hallucinations are like vivid dreamlike experiences. So it's almost like you're dreaming, but you're awake, just half asleep. And it's strange, let me just say that. They are often disturbing hallucinations. I've had a few random ones, which I will talk about, but the majority of ones that I've had have been scary. So that's why I wanted to do this video. Dude, I'm filming, just please. Sometimes these hallucinations are accompanied by sleep paralysis. Now, again, I will get into this later in the video, but I've had it not that many times at all. It's only been like brief, but for those of you who don't know what sleep paralysis is, that's basically where you wake up, you can't move and you can't speak, which is obviously terrifying, which you're like, what the hell's going on? And at the same time you hallucinate. So it's a scary experience, but not everyone who hallucinates gets sleep paralysis. So yeah, with these hallucinations you are aware that you're awake, but you feel trapped because, you know, you're half asleep and there's a little voice in your head questioning whether it's real or not. People often mistake these hallucinations for the paranormal. You know, if you wake up and you see a black figure in your room, you're gonna think that it's a ghost or whatever, and then you're gonna be paranoid and think that your house is haunted, and that will kind of stick in your head and you'll associate every sound and just everything with the paranormal, when in reality it literally could just be a hallucination because they look so real. Like, I've even thought myself, if the place was haunted or I'm just going crazy. But yeah, when it started to happen more often, I realised that it's not real. It's just all in my head. I only really experience these hallucinations maybe once or twice a week. If I'm going through a tough time, if I'm stressed, if I'm anxious, I will have more hallucinations, sometimes twice in one night, because my brain just loves me, you know. But yeah, normally it will just be once a week. So yeah, I don't know anyone who experiences this. Like, everyone I've talked to about this has been kind of like confused about it, I think, because I've not met or talked to anyone who goes through these kind of hallucinations as well. Please comment down below your experience, what you hallucinate, etc, etc, because I would love to know. Like, I'm curious, like I want to know if someone else hallucinates or it's just me. But yeah, I think it's time to actually talk about my hallucination. When we say hallucinations like 10 times, it kind of just comes out your mouth as a blur. Okay, so I don't actually know when these started. Now, I know it was a few years ago, I know I've had them for a long time, but I don't have the specific age or kind of day or year that it started. I just know what my first ever hallucination was. It's been the scariest hallucination that I've had, and I will talk about it, obviously. Now, I was back home at this time, obviously this was before I even started university. Now, I was sleeping as I usually would, and I woke up and I saw a man kneeling in the middle of my room. Now, obviously this was my first hallucination, so obviously I was going to think there's an actual man in my room, and I was just frozen in fear. Like, I was staring at this man, and it was an old man. Like, I could tell by his face that it was an old man, and he was kneeling there. And after like 2 seconds of noticing him, he slowly turned his head and grinned at me. It's not a friendly grin, it was like an evil grin, you know. And I was just sat there staring at him, freaking out, sweating. And after a few seconds, I literally bolted to my light switch, turned it on, and obviously he wasn't there. And it freaked me out so much because I had no idea what was going on. And so I just ran straight to my dad's room. I said, "There's someone in my room." Probably freaked him out a little bit, but yeah, that was my first ever hallucination. That stuck with me for quite a while because I had no idea what the hell I just saw. And at this point, this is when I did start to research, and that's when I found out it was hypnopompic hallucinations. Now, not long after that, I had another hallucination. It wasn't as scary, but it was creepy. So obviously, every time I'm going to say this, it's going to start with the same thing, but I did wake up, not knowing the time, obviously, and there were 3 to 4 children just by my bed. And this was also the first time that I hallucinated sound, because obviously with these hallucinations you can have all of your senses, so it's not just seeing something, you can hear something, you can taste something, you can feel something. Luckily I haven't felt something because I would freak out. But no, this was the first time that I actually heard something, and it was the children giggling. The children were right next to my head, literally up against my bed, as if they were like huddling together. And I was just frozen in fear. I was like, why are there children in my room? What the hell? So I had the urge again to run to the light switch. I turned it on and they weren't there. Checked under my bed, obviously I was paranoid. And yeah, nothing. Again, I was like, first as an old man, now there's children, what is it going to be next? And this is when just like the silly, stupid, random hallucinations kind of came into play. I've hallucinated a ladder in the middle of my room, just a ladder. I've hallucinated a glowing Rubik's Cube, just like spinning in midair. With these hallucinations, obviously, I literally just look at them and go straight back to sleep. Even like tree vines coming out from my window, it's bizarre. Some of them are really detailed, some of them are just not. It's different all the time. I've only hallucinated the same thing once, I think. I didn't have many more hallucinations at home. I know that I had a lot, and I have to say that I don't remember every single one. I just remember ones that really stick out to me the most, that seem the most creepy or just weird in general. I did have obviously a lot more at home. I can't store them all in my little brain, you know? But I do remember seeing black figures in my room as well, just really, really tall black figures in the corners of my room. But yeah, other than that, those are the main ones that stick out to me right now. So we're gonna fast forward to my first year at uni when I started. There were weird things just kind of going on in my room. I'll give a hint because I do want to do an actual paranormal video talking about all of my experiences, so I want to kind of leave it to that video, but I'll give a hint. We played with something and we actually made something. An Ouija board. Yeah, out of paper, by the way. So yeah, after I invited my friends around and we did all that fun stuff, they all went home and I went straight to sleep. I hallucinated twice that night, and I think it was just because of all the creepy stuff we were doing. It kind of just, it stayed in my head and then it just manifested into a hallucination. The first thing I saw was actually a hand. This hand, I can remember, it didn't have many details to it. It was just like it's like an animated hand. I saw it just like launch itself at me, basically. And I literally, because it made me jump, I shot out of bed as though I had a nightmare, turned on my lamp. Nothing, no hand whatsoever. So I went back to sleep and then I woke up again. I don't know how much later, but I woke up again and I saw a centipede. Now, I hate centipedes with a passion. Like, I hate them more than spiders. There is just something about them. I don't know if it's just their legs or just how long they are. Ew. Yeah, of course, I hallucinated a centipede. This long, thick centipede just crawling along my floor. And at this point, I knew it wasn't real. It was a gigantic flipping centipede in my room. It is not real. Obviously, I turned on the light, nothing. It's kind of a comfort thing, turning on the light. It reminds me that what I'm seeing is not real. Because yeah, I know deep down in my head, I know it's not real. But like when you're half asleep, you've just woken up and you see something in your room that looks really detailed and real. For like a split second, you're gonna question it. Turning on the light just kind of gets rid of this hallucination and reminds you that you're just seeing it in your head, you know. So yeah, that's why I have to turn on the light every single time. Now, this is the first time that I experienced exploding head syndrome. I know that sounds kind of intense, but it's basically where you hear a really loud noise as you're falling asleep or waking up. Obviously, again, this is in first year of uni. I heard a scream, like a high-pitched scream in my ear, which woke me up with a jolt, and I was obviously absolutely terrified because I heard a scream and it was right next to my head. Obviously, that was my first time experiencing exploding head syndrome, and I assumed it was just hallucination, but no, it actually does have a name for it. So there you go. Fast forward again to this place when I first moved in here in second year. I've had some interesting things happen here, but that will be it for another video. Within the first week of moving in here, I hallucinated a huge black figure standing at the end of my bed, literally just here. It was so tall, its head touched the ceiling, and it was just kind of lurking over my bed, and I didn't like that. Like, I really didn't like that, and I've seen my fair share of black figures whilst hallucinating, but this one just really gave me the creeps, just how intimidating it was. I did hallucinate whilst I was sleeping with my boyfriend. I think this was actually the first time he's witnessed me hallucinate, because I did freak him out a little bit. I woke up and I saw a hand. Obviously, what I said earlier about me hallucinating the same thing twice, this is what I saw. It was just a hand. It was hanging from the top of my curtain. Now, this hand didn't look as animated as the first one I saw. It had detail. It was like a woman's hand, but the fingernails were just long and sharp and dirty, and the hand was just gross and wrinkly, and it was just a scary hand. So it crawled down from my curtain, like it's like a phantom hand. It was just like crawling along my floor, up the side of my bed, and again launched itself at my face. I bolt up. I literally crawl across my boyfriend, waking him up. He's like, what the hell? Turn on the light. He's almost blinded. He's like, what is going on? And I just say, frantically saying, there's someone in my room, there's someone in my room. Now, I don't really have control of what I say, because again, I'm still kind of in that state and still half asleep. So I say whatever just comes to my mind, and my first instinct is to go to the light switch, because that's like my safety. I feel like that is my protection, is just turning on the light. Me and my friends decided to do a seance now. I know I keep saying this, but I will talk about this in my paranormal video because it will fit. Probably won't really fit into this video, and I kind of just want to stay on the topic of hallucinations. But yeah, we did a seance. Weird things happened, blah blah blah. Fast forward a little bit. We were all sleeping, and again, I had exploding head syndrome. Basically, there was just this horrible, horrible scream of a woman, like right next to my ear. I knew it wasn't real because my friends didn't wake up, they didn't hear it. If that was in real life, they would have woken up because it was loud and it was just nasty. I didn't want to turn on the light. This is probably the only time I didn't turn on the light, because I didn't want to wake my friends up, you know, and I just calmed myself, like it's not real, and I managed to fall back asleep. I did wake up again that same night. I saw this, it wasn't even a person. It was not a person, but I saw this thing. The only way I can describe it is that it looks like a Wendigo. This is what a Wendigo looks like. That's the only way I can describe it. It looked like a Wendigo. And it was again at the end of my bed, kind of just staring at me. And the thing that creeped me out was this thing wasn't tall, it was short, and it was like almost peering over my bed. Like, can you just imagine that? Like, I have goosebumps right now. I don't know if you can tell, but I have goosebumps just thinking about it. Oh yeah, I literally don't know if you can tell, but I have to say that's probably the second creepy thing that I've hallucinated. Since then, I actually haven't had many dramatic hallucinations, as in scary. I know that I've had some, obviously, because like I said, I have one at least once a week, but often I just don't remember them the next day, or they're just not crazy enough to really stick in my head. Yeah, I know that people have had far worse hallucinations. I think I read something that a girl hallucinates spiders but they crawled onto her and she could actually feel them. No thank you, thank God. I do not have those kind of hallucinations. I hope this video was enjoyable. I thought it'd be really interesting to talk about them because they are fascinating and interesting. I don't know if anyone else is fascinated by this. But yeah, I'm sure if you do research on this kind of thing, you'll get a lot more information. Obviously, I'm kind of just saying what I experienced and what I've read online, so yeah. I'm not professional, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And also, check out those channels down below because they deserve all the support right now because they're all lovely people and they've definitely supported me. But yes, I will do a paranormal video very, very soon. I kind of would have to write everything down because there's quite a lot, and I do want to include like pictures and everything in here, like kind of evidence. It's a video that will need planning or some kind of planning because I will ramble and go off topic, blah blah blah. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.